markets, and every market's a little bit different, including this one here in Sacramento. And with that being said, let's welcome in the general manager of your Sacramento Kings, Scott Perry, joining me, Jason Ross. Scott, good morning.
Hey, Jason. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I was wondering, are you in Los Angeles today with the team?
I am in Los Angeles. Just got done working out this morning and getting ready to go to shoot around shortly, and looking forward to another good day of work today.
All right. What's on your workout regimen? What do you do on a regular basis?
I do 45 minutes of cardio every day, and then another 20, 25 minutes of some sort of functional weight training, and that's my daily routine. Usually I'm up when I'm back home in Sacramento, working out between 5:30, quarter to 6.
You got long days. Well,
if I don't get it in the morning, I will not get it in the afternoon or the evening. So I have to force myself to get up. But it starts the day off right.
Well, good for you. I'm glad you're doing that, and you got to keep your body right, keep your mind right. It's been a busy week for the Kings, busy week for you. I'm going to kind of go, I guess, in order of a couple of events. Scott, what I've been saying on the air is one of my goals always for the preseason is to try to get through it first and foremost healthy. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, that's a box you guys can't check off because of the injury to Keegan. How frustrating for him and for you guys was to see a key player get injured.
It's definitely unfortunate, Keegan's injury, because in preseason you're trying a lot of different combinations. You're trying to see what group of players work well together. So him being out interrupts that process. But at the same time, I'm always a person that looks at things through a lens of a glass half full instead of empty. So it's opened up some opportunity to get a deeper look at other players and other combinations, and so excited about that. So we'll see what that brings over the next few weeks while Keegan is in recovery.
Yeah, and looking at your roster, we've talked about kind of where the imbalances seem at guard, and we'll talk about Westbrook here in a few moments. But it's a spot that, like you said, creates some opportunities, but that front court doesn't appear to have as much depth. How's that challenge of filling that void without Keegan?
Oh, definitely a challenge, but what I'm excited about is we have two young rookies in Max Reynaud and Dylan Cardwell, who I think has had a really good training camp. They bring a lot of energy to the court, and so let's get a chance. Well, hopefully we'll get a chance to see more of them and the type of energy they bring. Obviously, there's a lot for them to learn. There will be mistake-filled moments, but they'll be doing it with a lot of high energy, and they bring some size and presence to the floor as well too. So we'll see how they grow and develop during that short time. Dario Saric, who's a veteran four-man in this league, did a nice job when he got his first opportunity when we played in Portland in terms of being able to space the floor, make shots, has a high basketball IQ. And also opens up an opportunity for Isaac Jones, who most King fans know, who was part of this roster last year. So we'll see what he does with the opportunity as well. We could go small. We could play DeMar DeRozan at the 4, alongside Nick Clifford, because I think Kings fans will get a lot of opportunity to see Nick throughout the course of the year, too. And he's a young player that we have a lot of pride in and think that he has a really strong chance to develop into a really solid player in this league. So we'll be looking at that. I think that with the league going, some teams we're going to play two bigs, and some teams will still play smaller. So we'll just have to adjust each night and see how we fare.
On the other, I don't know if you have an update. Last we saw, as far as the injury front goes, on Sabonis, we know he left the game the other night, hamstring strain. I know he's not playing tonight. Is there any further word on his health status going forward?
No further word. As you mentioned, he'll be out tonight, but cautiously optimistic that he'll be, coming back to us sooner rather than later. So we'll get a chance to see him today and how he continues to respond to treatment in a little time off. And, we obviously need him to be back to start getting closer to full strength as a basketball team. So we'll keep you updated as we get more information.
Okay. We're talking with Scott Perry, Kings general manager. A big week, too, for you in the signing and extending of Keegan Murray. We're just talking about him and not having him for a while, but you will have him for several years on this extension. What was the thought behind extending Keegan here and keeping him as a King for several years?
You're looking at a young man and a player at 6'8", 6'9", who is extremely versatile. And those type of players are very in high demand in and around this league, as most basketball pundits will tell you and people that work in the industry. And so having that versatility around, having him, knowing that he's going to be part of us moving forward. He's a very high-character young man, which resonates very well with me and what we're trying to build here. You've heard me talk about those 6 tenets often, the competitive, tough, team-oriented, professional, accountable, and disciplined. He lives those. He practices those. He exhibits those. So we're really excited to have him as part of us and part of a core moving forward. So, he gives it to you on both sides of the floor. He's shown you throughout his short career, he's able to space the floor with his ability to shoot the basketball. And he's one of the more versatile defenders at his size, being able to match up literally really 1 through 5 on the defensive end. So brings very high value. And I just think he's still scratching the surface a little bit in terms of what type of player he can become in this league. And it's our job to continue to work with him and develop him and help him reach his full potential. And if we can do that, I think that bodes well for the Kings organization moving forward.
Yesterday, Scott, you also bring in Russell Westbrook. There had been talk about Russ for a while, but you guys officially land him to be a veteran to kind of hit those 6 tenets that you've been talking about. Tell us about the thought, in an already crowded backcourt, but you elect to bring in a veteran in Russell Westbrook. What was the thought behind bringing Russ to this team?
Well, you talk about those 6 tenets and the importance of those. And, you've heard me say many times, Jason, about this season is about establishing that identity. And just really felt that Russ can really help us in that way. And he brings us another guy who's played point guard his entire career. So right now on the roster, we just have Dennis Schroeder, who really has been a full-time point guard throughout his career. God forbid if anything were to happen to him, felt like we'd be real lean and someone being able to captain the ship, if you will. And so Russ, look, his resume speaks for itself. We're talking about a guy who's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And the thing I've always marveled and appreciated in watching him over his career, he's never cheated the game. I don't think you can look at any game that this young man has competed in and where you didn't feel like he gave 110% all game long. And so even at his age now, going to his 18th year, that's, who he was last year when he played last year in Denver too. So we're excited about that. He's excited to be with us, and I just think it's not only will he be able to help us on the floor, I think he's going to be really good, especially with our younger players too, in terms of showing them the type of example of what a true great professional looks like. Again, we know his competitive side. I think he's going to add that to our locker room. I think he's going to always hold himself accountable, but also hold everyone else in that locker room accountable, not only the young guys, but veteran players as well. So anytime you can get some leadership like that, I think it's nothing but a plus. And so I'm just looking forward to seeing him get ingratiated to our group here over the next week before the season starts, and we'll be ready to go next week.
I don't know this, or do you know? Is he available? Do you expect him to be available tonight, or is that too soon?
I doubt that he plays tonight. I expect him to go through shoot around today, and we don't want to put him in harm's way. He's in really good shape. Russell is always working out and ready to go. But we'll go through shoot around. I'm sure he's going to sit with the coaches today, watch a lot of film, learn some about terminology and things of that nature. But we don't want to put him in any type of harm's way in terms of playing tonight. So I would lean towards that, probably that happening, but we'll give a final word here coming out of shoot around.
So when Westbrook was added, again, I said I understand the sense and the thought behind it, but I also look, Scott, at just a crowded backcourt, a very crowded backcourt. How I mean, there's going to be some guys that may not get some opportunities, and we're looking at Westbrook, Schroeder, Carter, Ellis, Monk, Levine, and we go down the line. How do you guys kind of rationalize that part?
Well, I rationalize about it. Like I said, again, I've had a chance to be around this team for a few weeks right now, and I can tell you, Dennis Schroeder is the one guy who's a point guard in the building. Everyone else that you mentioned are all secondary ball handlers. Now Westbrook gives us a legit guy that plays the point guard position in the backup capacity there. And so that's how we really rationalize it. I think competition is a good thing. Mm-hmm. All of those kind of things will work themselves out. When you start building out a roster, that takes time too. And you don't just – so, yeah, we may have a number of guards right now on the roster. We recognize that. But, again, in terms of having the skill set to organize and run a team, now Russ gives us a second guy that I have extreme confidence in that can do that. And we'll work and build from there. And guys will have to stay ready and take care of their opportunities as they come by during the season. And we recognize that we're not a finished product as well. And we'll spend this season again figuring out all those guys who subscribe to those 6 tenets and who are willing to push forward with us moving forward, and also know that we'll need to address some things as we move forward up front as well, get some more athleticism to this basketball team. But again, those opportunities you just have to take advantage of them when they become available.
Yeah.
And so you can't choose when those opportunities come available. So this opportunity with Russ was available now, so we had to jump on it.
All right, last one for you, because I know you gotta head out to shoot around as we're talking with Kings GM Scott Perry. How about the challenge, Scott, of I'm hearing what you're saying about this year is about establishing this identity of what you want to build on long-term success, when a lot of the league is, fairly or unfairly measured on wins and losses. So how's that challenge of trying to get success in that identity while trying to get as many wins as you can in the same process?
Well, look, the league is a challenge we know every year. And obviously I'm someone, like I told you in my initial press conference, that, I am wired to win and want to win. But I also understand that it's a process that comes with sustainable winning. Having been a part of that for a long time, especially earlier in my career, in my days in Detroit, it took time. It didn't just happen with a snap of a finger and then or a lot of wordsmithing that this is what we're going to be. You've got to build it brick by brick, and you can't really skip steps. So the first thing, in my opinion, is to really just build a team that's going to compete every single night and lay it on the line. Because if you can have that as a foundation, now you have a chance to continue to add talent to that, but it also gives you an opportunity to be in a lot of games throughout the course of the season. And my experience in the NBA, if your team is playing hard, extremely and together every night, you give yourself a chance, even against teams that may have stronger personnel than you. So that's our challenge, is to start creating that type of environment this year so that we can, lay the groundwork, dig the foundation. As you've heard me use the analogy of building a home. Mm-hmm. I want to build my home. I want to dig beneath the surface, go 15, 20 feet beneath the surface and pour the concrete instead of just pouring the concrete on top of starting my house right on top of the ground and not having a strong foundation underneath. So this year is about getting that foundation underneath and establishing that. And we're obviously going to try to compete, and every chance we get to try to win a game, we're going to obviously that's what we're in it for to do. But I think we've got to do that on a parallel track, though, in terms of establishing an identity and trying to win as much as possible.
Well, we appreciate your time, that's for sure, Scott. Enjoy your time in L.A. I'm so excited for the start of the season next week, and I know we'll be talking to you a lot during the season. Thanks again. It's been a busy week for you, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, thank you. Thank you. That is
bye now.
Yep, Kings general manager Scott Perry joining us from Los Angeles after his workout. He's joining us. Yeah, I mean, again, I knew he would give his answers as to the thought behind Westbrook. I told you, I think they did need another point guard. They really do. It's clearing up those other guards. He said strike when those opportunities come. And I'm sure they're going to be aggressive, and that's the step. That's the spot I feel like this team is in, where they've got some individually talented players. The mix is a bit odd, but it isn't the final product, and it doesn't mean this is likely the product next week and maybe the week after. But when the season rolls along and there's trade opportunities, you don't just do it to do it. But I think they're going to be in a position where they're going to have to, whether it's the glut of guards, clearing out some contracts, creating some other opportunities. This team will change, but we're in that period right now where you're trying to do as much to build that identity he's talking about. Doug's going to try to get as many wins as possible. It's really a tightrope they're walking, but that's what they're going to try to execute here. All right, thanks again to Scott Perry. Again, if you ever miss any part of any conversation we have, you always have a chance to go back to Sactown Sports when the shows are podcasted. You can check them all out. When we come back, 4 down